माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधे। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। गंगामयी की यमुनामयी की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Hare Krishna. We would like to heartily welcome His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu here at Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Temple, Pune. It's our fortune that Prabhuji is here today for this wonderful session. As such, he has been inspiring us a lot by his classes. He has been teaching us Bhakti Vaibhav many years back. He started the batch at Pune, the first batch of Bhakti Vaibhav. And otherwise, he is based at Govardhan Eco Village. He has very wonderful and monumental contribution for our ISKCON society. Before he made these Sobodhini notes for Srimad Bhagavatam study, a study of Srimad Bhagavatam on a regular basis for an average devotee in ISKCON was very difficult. But by his wonderful notes and then printing them in the form of Subodhini books, he made the study of Srimad Bhagavatam very easy, relishable and popular. And now there are so many places, the Bhagavatam study is going on through Bhakti Vaibhav courses. And along with that, he has compiled many other books. He has also written books like Wisdom Tales for Children, which are very, very popular in India as well as abroad. And he also takes camps for the children and for others. And the specialty of his lecture is that they are not just informative, they are very transformative. He is very lucid in teaching wonderful lessons through the pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, as you will see just in a few minutes, quoting slokas, quoting pastimes, giving lessons. Very brilliant personality. I had the good fortune of studying under him. I'm still studying under him, teaching the Bhaktivedanta course. I was at GAV for a year or so, and he has been our main teacher. Even Radheshyam Prabhu, when he went to GAV, that Bhaktivedanta Vidyapeetham batch was led by him. He was the prime teacher. As such, he is the dean of Bhaktivedanta Vidyapeetham, and Prabhuji also respects him a lot. He completed his education from IISc, where he did his masters, and then for his servantship he came to GAV, Govardhan Eco Village. He was in the pioneering batch in 2009, which was shifted to Govardhan Eco Village for starting off. Nothing was there. So right from construction and making mud blocks and taking care of the cows, and he was doing all that. And on Gauranga Prabhu's instruction, he started this Bhaktivedanta Vidyapeetham, and he envisioned how the course will learn, because before that the Bhakti Vaibhav was taught only in MIHE and VIHE, and there were different patterns. But he envisioned a 2-year-long study of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, which was a unique thing in ISKCON in those days. So he led it and he made it very wonderful. The question answers, the sloka recitations, the exams every day. It was a different model. It was very much liked by the devotees, and it led to many devotees taking interest in learning and studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Along with that, he loves the deities. He is a wonderful pujari. He dresses the deities on festival occasions, and he takes care of the service to all the. Earlier there were 7 temples. Now there are almost 11 temples where the offering and arti goes on. So he oversees that scheduling and everything. And wherever in Govardhan Eco Village you'll find the description, short descriptions of the dioramas or the pastime. They are all written by him under the guidance of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Maharaj loves him a lot, and Maharaj instructed him to, give lectures and compile literature on Vaishnava qualities, which is a very unique, empowered thing. So there are a lot more to say, but then I have been told to keep it brief by him also and by some other Vaishnavas also. So we are very happy that he is here for today morning to enlighten us through Srimad Bhagavatam class. Let us welcome him here by once loudly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter number 13, entitled The Behavior of a Perfect Person. Text number 8. Nasishyan anubodhnita Nasishyan anubodhnita Granthan naivabhyaset bahun Navyakhyam upayunjita Narambhan arabhat kvachit Nasishyan anubadhnita Granthan naivabhyaset bahun Navyakhyam upayunjita Narambhan arabhit kvachit Nasishyan anubadhnita Granthan naivabhyaset bahun Navyakhyam upayunjita Narambhan arabhit kvachit. Nasishyan anubadhnita Nasishyan anubadhnita Granthan naivabhyaset bahun Navyakhyam upayunjita Narambha Matajis. Na, not, Sishyan, disciples, Anubadhanita, one should induce for material benefit. Granthan, unnecessary literatures. Na, not, eva, certainly, abhyasit, should try to understand or cultivate, bahun, many, na, nor, vyakhyam, discourses, upayunjita, should make as a means of livelihood, na, nor, arambhan, unnecessary opulences, arabhet, should attempt to increase, kochit, at any time. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. A sannyasi must not present allurements of material benefits to gather many disciples, nor should he unnecessarily read many books or give discourses as a means of livelihood. He must never attempt to increase material opulences unnecessarily. Purport. So-called swamis and yogis generally make disciples by alluring them with material benefits. There are many so-called gurus who attract disciples by promising to cure their diseases or increase their material opulence by manufacturing gold. These are lucrative allurements for unintelligent men. A sannyasi is prohibited from making disciples through such material allurements. Sannyasis sometimes indulge in material opulence by unnecessarily constructing many temples and monasteries, but actually such endeavor should be avoided. Temples and monasteries should be constructed for the preaching of spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness, not to provide free hotels for persons who are useful for neither material nor spiritual purposes. Temples and monasteries should be strictly off limits to worthless clubs of crazy men. In the Krishna consciousness movement, we welcome everyone who agrees at least to follow the movement's regulative principles. No illicit sex, no intoxication, no meat eating, and no gambling. In the temples and monasteries, gatherings of unnecessary, rejected, lazy fellows should be strictly disallowed. The temples and monasteries should be used exclusively by devotees who are serious about spiritual advancement in Krishna consciousness. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains the word Arambhan as meaning Mathadi Vyaparan, which means attempts to construct temples and monasteries. The first business of the sannyasi is to preach Krishna consciousness. But if by the grace of Krishna facilities are available, then he may construct temples and monasteries to give shelter to the serious students of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, such temples and monasteries are not needed. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I offer my humble obeisances to all the devotees at ISKCON NVCC, Pune. Very happy and grateful to be amongst all of you today. I seek blessings from all the wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis present here. My gratitude to His Grace, Revatipati Prabhu, who is always a symbol of genuine Vaishnava affection and friendship. Of course, I should not have the audacity to say friendship. He is very senior to me, but he's very friendly, despite his seniority. Thank you so much for being here. With your blessings, I'll make my humble attempt to speak a few words on this shloka that we just read about sannyasi. I was just sharing with Prabhuji, what can a brahmachari speak about sannyasi? But Prabhupada has given a brilliant purport about the essence of sannyasi life. And this whole section we see in the 7th canto of Bhagavatam is describing the duties and characteristics of different varnas and different ashramas. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. How should they conduct themselves in their respective ashrams? So the 7th canto, last 5 chapters give us beautiful details. And also different varnas are described in this episode. So these 5 chapters, 7.11 to 7.15, may seem a bit technical, sometimes exhaustive also. But along with Bhaktivedanta purports, if we read, these 5 chapters give us a lot of important lessons for leading our spiritual life while being in our respective ashrams. Especially there are a lot of lessons on prioritizing devotional service in whichever varna, whichever ashram we may be. Of course, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said during the Rath Yatra, Naham vipro na cha narapatir napi vaishyo na shudro Naham varni na cha grahapatir no vanastho yatirvam Kintu prodyan nikhila paramananda purnamrutabdher Gopi bhartuh padakamalayyor dasa dasanudasah. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I am not a brahmachari, I am not a grihastha, I am not a vanaprastha, I am not a sannyasi. He also says, I am not a brahmana or a kshatriya or a vaishya or a shudra. I am just a servant of the 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 master of the gopis. Gopi bhartuh padakamalayyor dasa dasanudasah. And that's our aspiration. Even Vritarasura also says, Aham hare tava padaika mula dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuyah manah smareta supater gunamste grinita vakarma karotu kayah. All I want is to be the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. Not even servant of Krishna, but Jai Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki Jai. Being the servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Lord. Even Kulashekar Alvar says, Tvad bhritya bhritya paricharaka bhritya bhritya bhrityasya bhritya iti mam smara lokanatha. O Lord, I consider that this is the greatest benediction. When you consider me as the servant of 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 your servants, I consider that's the greatest boon for me. This is spiritual hierarchy. So, that's our ultimate identity. Jivera Swarupahai Krishnera Nitya Das. That's our ultimate identity. However, while living in this material world, we may live in accordance with the norms of this world, according to the way in which the material world functions. And Krishna himself made certain systems. He has made this Varnashram system. Especially one who is in spiritual lineage, spiritual line, has 4 stages in one's life: Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. Brahmachari is a celibate a student. Sometimes or many times, this brahmachari student may graduate to the next ashram, grihastha ashram. He follows celibacy up to some age as he is a student, then he takes up to grihastha ashram and responsibly leads the family life, and then vanaprastha, retires. Then renounced life, that is sannyasi life. Now, during grihastha time, grihastha ashram, yes, there is license given for interaction with the opposite gender in a married setup. Then after that again vanaprastha, they come back to celibacy. Sannyasi, they come back to celibacy. There are some people in the varnashram system, they follow celibacy or brahmacharya up to certain age. Then they get into married life. Then again they come back to the celibacy mode. Then there are some people who take lifelong vow for celibacy. That is called brahadvrata, naishtika brahmachari. There is upakurvana brahmachari who follows brahmacharya for a while and then enters respectfully, in a dignified way, enters grihastha ashram. But there are naishtika brahmacharis, they follow a lifelong vow of celibacy and they may enter sannyas also. So this shloka that we just read specifically talks about sannyasi life. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as soon as he took sannyas, he was chanting this shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam and he immediately wanted to go to Vrindavan. And what was that shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted, especially after taking sannyas? That is a sannyasi, that gives the essence of sannyas life. That is a shloka from the Bhikshu Gita. Bhikshu Gita is the song sung by Avanti Brahman, which Krishna personally speaks to Uddhava in the Uddhava Gita, 11th canto Bhagavatam. He says, Etam sa asthaya paratmanishta adhyasitam purvatamair maharshibhir aham tarishyami durantaparam tamo mukundangrinisheva yaiva. Etam sa asthaya paratmanishta. So this beautiful shloka describes the essence of sannyasi life. Paratmanishta. Prabhupada gives a beautiful explanation for this, where in the Chaitanya Charitamrita he speaks. Prabhupada writes a purport. So Paratmanishta means complete dedication to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Full commitment to the principle of rendering service to the Supreme Lord. Paratmanishta. Nishtha means being very fixed up in the Supreme Personality of Godhead's seva. Krishna consciousness. As Prabhupada writes in today's purport also, essence of sannyasi life is Krishna consciousness. Paratmanishta. And that Paratmanishta or absorption in Krishna consciousness must be pursued by following the footsteps of great devotees in the past. Adhyasitam purvatamair maharshibhi. There are so many other sannyasis in the past, other renounced personalities in the past. In the universal spiritual history, we find so many sannyasis. Like Narada Muni, he is a lifelong brahmachari. He is a traveling preacher, transcendental spaceman, so following in the footsteps of Narada Muni. Then 4 Kumaras, they are also Naishtika brahmacharis. So like that, there is some standard set by great personalities, Mahajans. And a sannyasi follows the footsteps of these great devotees in the past and then pursues the path of Krishna consciousness. Adhyasitam purvatamair maharshibhi. And by doing so, what happens? Aham tarishyami durantaparam tamo mukundhangri nisheva yaiva. Aham tarishyami durantaparam tamo mukundhangri nisheva yaiva. Means this tamas or this ocean of material existence is very difficult to surpass. As Krishna himself acknowledges in the Bhagavad Gita, Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Same shloka is described in this Bhikshu Gita shloka. It's very difficult to surpass the influence of Maya. Gunamayi, filled with 3 modes. Mama maya duratyaya. But if we take shelter of Krishna, then we can easily surpass Maya. Same principle. Daivi Shesha Gunamayi principle is again repeated in this shloka chanted by Lord Chaitanya. Aham tarishyami durantaparam. So this tamas, material existence, is durantaparam, very difficult to surpass. But I can easily surpass this. Aham tarishyami. How? Mukundangri nishevayaiva. By rendering service to the lotus feet of Lord Mukunda. He liberates us from this ocean of material existence. So taking shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Mukunda and rendering service to the lotus feet of Lord Mukunda and having nishtha, paratma nishtha, being fixed up in that service, that is the essence of sannyasi life. And while doing so, one has to preach Krishna consciousness also. The sannyasi is not only personally committed to the path of bhakti, but also tries to help 100 other people, 1,000 other people, thousands of other people also to come closer to the service of the lotus feet of Lord Mukunda. Preaching. Prabhupada says preaching is the essence. Aham tarishyami. One has to deliver oneself. And also one has to help others in their path of bhakti. That's the essence of renounced order as taught by our scriptures. For example, Prahlad Maharaj. He got the darshan of the Lord. His life is perfect. It's a great example of Krishna Smaranam. And finally he got the darshan of Lord Narasimhadev. But he says, Naivo dvije paraduratyaya vaitaranya hatvadvirya gayana mahamrita magna chitta soche tato vimukha indriyartha maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimudhan. Personally, I have no problems. Prahlad Maharaj says, I have absolutely no problem in this world. Why? Because my mind is absorbed in the chanting of your glories, in hearing your glories, in relishing Krishna-katha. Tadvirya gayana mahamrita magna chitta. My chitta is magna, is completely immersed in what? Tadvirya gayana. By glorifying your glorious activities, your qualities, your nama, rupa, guna, lila. I am happy. That is paratmanishta. However, he has a concern about the conditioned souls. These people are carrying great burden of maya sukha. Maya sukhaya bharamudvahato. Bharam means great burden. They are carrying the great burden of material happiness, illusory happiness, thinking that it is so exciting. I am very concerned about them. That's the spirit of a devotee, specifically a sannyasi. Of course, at that time Prahlad was only a 5-year-old boy. But that sloka that he spoke is very much fitting into the job profile or the nature or the characteristic of a sannyasi, a renounced personality also. Personally being absorbed in the glories of Krishna and speaking those glories of Krishna to common people so that they can be attracted to Krishna consciousness. That's the essence of spiritual life and especially renounced order. The gopis of Vrindavan say, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam shrimadatam bhuvi grinanti ye bhurida jana. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam. The nectarian descriptions of Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's nama, rupa, guna, lila is the real medicine for the suffering souls in this world. Tapta jivanam. The life and soul for all the suffering souls in this world is Krishna-katha amrit, the immortal nectar of Krishna-katha. Kavi bhiriditam, great kavis glorified this. Kalmashapaham, they can completely destroy the contamination of Kali Yuga. Kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam, they create great auspiciousness. Just by hearing Krishna-katha, great auspiciousness is created. How does Krishna-katha create auspiciousness? Acharyas describe. Krishna-katha creates auspiciousness in 2 ways. Number 1, Krishna-katha makes the ultimate goal of Krishna prema attractive. Number 2, Krishna-katha makes the ultimate goal of Krishna prema attainable. The goal of life is Krishna prema. But not many people find this goal attractive. They find many other goals attractive. Becoming a very wealthy person, or even a knowledgeable person, or an influential person, gaining so many followers. So these are the general aspirations of people. These are the goals, and these goals are advertised so much. So much of advertisement is given to these material goals that have nothing to do with the real nature of the spirit soul. But why not many people are aspiring for the goal of Krishna prema? Because this is not advertised sufficiently. When we speak Krishna-katha, this goal of Krishna prema is advertised. The purpose of speaking Krishna-katha based on Srimad Bhagavatam is to advertise this goal of Krishna prema more. Make people get attracted to this goal. Your goal is Krishna prema. Prema pumartho mahan. That's the real artha. Prema namadbhutartha shravana pathagatah kasya namna mahimnah. So the real goal, real artha, real purpose of human life is to attain Krishna prema. This goal is not sufficiently made attractive. It's not sufficiently advertised. Therefore, people are getting attracted to other goals. A sannyasi is committed to advertise this goal of Krishna prema through Krishna nama, through chanting Krishna nama. And also, what does Krishna-katha do? It makes the goal of Krishna prema attractive. Second thing is, it makes the goal of Krishna prema attainable also. By hearing Harikatha, we can easily attain Krishna prema. And a sannyasi, or anyone, any devotee for that matter, we are discussing in the context of sannyasi here, Vaishnava sannyasi, not other type of sannyasis. They may say, Danda grahana matrena naram narayano bhavet. Just by accepting danda, we have become God. So now we are not talking about that sannyasi. By accepting danda, I am committed to this principle of bringing people closer to God, not becoming God. Becoming a representative of God, not a replacement for God. So, Sravana Mangalam. So one has to create that auspiciousness in one's own life and the life of so many other people by spreading this message of Krishna. Srimadatatam. Bhuvi grinanti ye bhurida janaha. Such people are very magnanimous. Bhurida janaha. Those who spread Krishna bhakti and Krishna katha, Krishna consciousness everywhere, they are bhurida janaha. Most magnanimous personalities. And Vaishnava sannyasis are amongst those bhurida janaha. All respects to them. All glories to them. We are eternally indebted to them. Srila Prabhupada. He went to the West at the age of 70. To do what? Srimadatatam. Shravana Mangalam Srimadatatam. To create auspiciousness in the entire world by spreading Krishna consciousness. And he's Bhurida Janaha. Bhuvi grinanti ye Bhurida Janaha. So these are do's of a sannyasi. What a sannyasi is supposed to do. Spread Krishna-katha out of compassion. That's the reason why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very happy at Navadvip. He has such close associates, intimate associates like Advaitacharya, Srivas Thakur, Murari Gupta. And he has such loving mother at home, Sachi Mata. He also has a loving wife, Lakshmi Priya Devi, Vishnu Priya Devi. So he has everything. In Navadvip he is chanting, he has a beautiful picture there. So he is chanting with so many people. Nityananda Prabhu joins, Gadadhar Pandit, Advaitacharya, Srivas Thakur, Panchatattva. They are distributing Krishna prema everywhere. Chirada dattam nija gupta vittam swaprema nama amritamatyudaraha apamaram yo vitatara gauraha krishno janebhyastamaham prapadye. Chirad adattam. Mahaprabhu is gifting all of us that which has not been gifted to the people of this world since long time. And what is that gift? The most confidential, secret treasure in his own heart, that is prema, Krishna prema. He is distributing to all the humanity. And how is he distributing that? Prema. Through the process of chanting Nama. Svaprema namamritamatyudaraha. He is distributing prema to everyone by inducing them to chant Nam, Krishna Nam. Right? So that's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing it in Navadvip. But there are some people who criticize Lord Chaitanya because they did not take him very seriously. Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also like a householder Vaishnava, like any other Vaishnava there. They considered him very ordinary. They felt that, oh, Nimai is also like us only. Nimai Pandit is like that. One day Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is chanting Gopi, 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 Gopi. Then one Sanskrit scholar, Sanskrit student, saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanting the names of gopis and commented on him. If you chant Krishna's names, at least you will get some piety. What is the use of chanting gopis' names? Where is it mentioned that we have to chant the names of gopis or the devotees? Mahaprabhu found two mistakes in his comment. Number one, by chanting Krishna's names, you will not get punya or liberation. You may get, but that's not the ultimate goal of chanting Krishna's name. By chanting Krishna's name, you will not get some ordinary mundane piety or mukti, you will get Krishna prema. So he minimized the process of chanting Krishna's names to something very ordinary pious activity. That really made Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu upset. Second thing, he also criticized the process of chanting the names of the gopis. You can always chant the names of the devotees also. They are also spiritual. We say Radha Vrindavan Chandra, not only Vrindavan Chandra. We also chant Jai Prabhupada. After saying Jai Narasimhadev, we also say Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. So by praising the names of devotees also, we come closer to Krishna. So the Sanskrit student commented on Lord Chaitanya for chanting the names of the gopis. Mahaprabhu became very angry that he wanted to pick up a stick and then beat him. He started chasing this Sanskrit student. And this Sanskrit student went into the assembly of so many other Sanskrit students and together they criticized Lord Chaitanya. Nimai Pandit has gone crazy. He's trying to strike a Brahmana. No etiquette. What has happened to him? Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu contemplated. I have come here for the purpose of giving Krishna Prema to people by inducing them to chant Krishna Nama. I wanted to distribute this process of Krishna consciousness to everyone, but these people are not taking me seriously. They are considering me very ordinary. They are thinking that I am one amongst them. And they are criticizing me also sometimes. And thus they are offending me. How can I deliver them? They are not respecting me. Although they are not respecting Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu is thinking about their welfare. He wants to induce them to respect him by taking sannyas. That's the context where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided, I must take sannyas now. At least if I take sannyas, a sannyasi is generally respected and honored. So let me take sannyas so that they will respect me and that is good for them. They will bow down in front of me, that's good for them. When they bow down in front of me, I will bless them and I will forgive all their offenses. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadaharihi. Humility, tolerance, respecting everyone and not expecting respect from anyone. And Mahaprabhu took sannyas expecting respect from people. What does it mean? Was Mahaprabhu really expecting respect? No. He was expecting respect so that they will be delivered from their conditioned state. When they respect a sannyasi, who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, that will relieve them from offenses. For that he is accepting the respect. But it's not that he is excited to accept respect. He is accepting respect only for their benefit. Because he is the Supreme Lord himself. So, the purpose of accepting sannyas or accepting respect as a sannyasi is only to cause welfare to common people. That's the intention of Lord Chaitanya. Let them get some spiritual benefit. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas for the purpose of spreading Krishna consciousness out of his deep compassion towards common people. Tyaktva sudustyaja surepsita rajya lakshmiyam dharmishta aryavachasa yadagadharanyam maya mrugam daita ipsita manvadhavat vande mahapurushate charanaravindam tyaktva sudustyaja surepsita rajya lakshmi. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given up the greatest Rajya Lakshmi, the greatest opulence of comforts at household life. It is said that when a man has a loving mother at home and a loving wife at home, he is very fortunate. Mahaprabhu had both. And not only loving mother and loving wife at home, he also has so many loving associates around him, around his home. That is called Rajya Lakshmi. That's the greatest fortune, royal fortune. But Tyaktva, Mahaprabhu has given it up. Tyaktva sudustyaja surepsita Rajya Lakshmi. He has given up that opulence at home. And dharmishta aryavachasa yadagadharanyam. He entered Aranya. Entering Aranya is representing taking sannyas order. For what? I'm not going to explain every small detail of the shloka. We'll focus only on the sannyas now. So, he entered Aranya, means he accepted sannyas for what? Maya mrugam daita ipsita manvadhavat. The conditioned soul is running behind Maya mrugam. Is running behind the illusory potency of the Lord. Trying to enjoy the illusory potency or the manifestations of the illusory potency of the Lord. And Mahaprabhu is concerned about them. Just as Prahalad is concerned about conditioned souls. He says, Naivo dvijaya paradurate vaitarnyaha twadvirya gayana mahamrita magna chiktaha shoche tato vimukhache sa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimodhan. These people, like animals, they are carrying the burden of illusory happiness. Mahaprabhu also felt the same thing. Maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimodhan shoche tato vimukhache sa indriyartha. For the purpose of gratifying their senses, they are carrying the burden of illusory happiness. All senses are burdened with the so-called happiness of illusion. Eyes are burdened with so many visuals, especially on the screen. Eyes are seeing. Eyes are thinking. The mind is thinking that I am becoming happy by seeing these visuals. Or seeing people around or places around. But eyes are getting overburdened. Have you seen when you are seeing the screen for a long time, your eyes get burdened, right? They are burdened with Maya Sukha. Of course, devotees, while typing some Krishna conscious documents also, they may get some, they are tired, their eyes are tired, but that's a positive way. But when eyes are burdened by seeing materialistic visuals, when ears are burdened by hearing a lot of materialistic, mundane music or mundane gossip, materialistic talks, kokatha mati ghanihi. When tongue is burdened by eating so many materialistic foods, that's called Maya Sukha. Maya Sukhaya Bharamudvahato. The conditioned soul is carrying so much of Maya Sukha. Therefore Mahaprabhu is concerned. Maya mrugam daita ipsita manvadhavat. Dayitam, out of his compassion upon that conditioned soul, who is like a toy in the hands of Maya, who is like an animal in the hands of Maya, Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Vande mahapurushate charanaravindam. So while Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is trying to exhibit his compassion on conditioned souls in this world by taking sannyas, Mahaprabhu also pursued his own personal excitement of Krishna prema. In seclusion with Ramananda Rai, with Swarup Damodar Goswami, he is discussing about Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna. And he is relishing Krishna consciousness in the mode of Srimati Radharani. So personally, he is absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And when he comes in public, he is distributing that Krishna consciousness to everyone. That's the essence of sannyas life. as exemplified by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is distributing that gift of Krishna Prema to everyone, Krishna Nama to everyone, Vrindavan Dham to everyone, and introducing Srimati Radharani to everyone on a higher plane. Prema Namadbhutarthaha Shravana Pathagataha Kasya Namna Mahimnaha Ko Veta Kasya Vrinda Vana Vipina Maha Madhurishu Pravesha Ko Va Janati Radham Paramarasa Chamatkara Madhurya Simam Ekas Chaitanya Chandraha Paramakarunaya Sarvama Vishchakara. By accepting sannyas, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us these gifts of Krishna Nam as the sadhana, and Krishna Prem as the sadhya, and Vrindavan Dham as the ultimate abode, and Srimati Radharani as the best example of Krishna Prema. These are the gifts Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is embracing while taking sannyas and gifting all of us after taking sannyas. That's the essence of renounced order. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's senior, Madhavendra Puri, he is also a great sannyasi. What was he doing? He was exactly exemplifying that shloka that we quoted in the beginning of our session. Avanti Brahmana shloka. Etamsa asthaya paratmanishta. Tamo mukundangri nisheva yaiva. Rendering service to the lotus feet of Lord Mukunda. That is the essence of sannyasi life. Madhavendra Puri, he was like a sannyasi moving around everywhere. He doesn't even beg for food also. He sat at Giriraj Govardhan, not even asking for food. One little cowhead boy comes to him and offers him a pot of milk. Madhavendra Puri drinks that milk and he has a dream. In the dream, he sees the same boy. And he says, I am Gopalji. I am lying in these bushes. Please take me out of the bushes. Establish me. Make a temple for me. Start worshipping me. Then Madhavendra Puri, a sannyasi, is dedicated to the principle of worshipping Gopalji. He inspires all the villagers to worship Gopalji. He conducts so many Annakut ceremonies. He personally walks all the way from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri to get chandan for this Gopalji. That is dedication to the service of the lotus feet of Lord Mukunda. Tamo Mukundangri nisheva yaiva. He is exemplifying one facet of sannyasi life where he is personally absorbed in bhakti. He is also absorbed in service of the Lord, inducing so many people to serve the Lord. That's what a Vaishnava sannyasi does. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is personally absorbed in Krishna Prema. He is distributing that Krishna Prema through Krishna Nama to common people. That is his aspect of sannyasi. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a sannyasi, he is also sitting in the classes of Ramananda Rai and hearing Harikatha. He hears from Gadadhar Pandit. He hears from Ramananda Rai. He hears from Rupa Goswami. He hears from Sanatana Goswami. He not only hears from Rupa Goswami's compositions, he also brings more audience. Once Rupa Goswami came to Jagannath Puri, he was writing Lalita Madhav, Vidagdha Madhav, these wonderful literatures. In that one shloka, he glorified the holy name, Tunde Tandavani Ratim Vitanute, very popular shloka about the glory of Krishna's name. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so impressed with the writing of Rupa Goswami. Writing means not only the handwriting, which is like a string of pearls, but the content of the writing and the intent of the writing and the format of writing. He is impressed. And he brought Ramananda Rai, Swarupa Damodar Goswami, Govinda, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and many other exalted Vaishnavas to come and hear from Rupa Goswami. And Mahaprabhu also privately is indulging in so many conversations, Krishna conscious conversations with few devotees. Haridas Thakur, Rupa Goswami and Lord Chaitanya, only three of them sit together and relish Krishna-katha. Then later Sanatana Goswami comes to Puri. Then Haridas Thakur, Sanatana Goswami and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, three of them sit together and discuss Krishna-katha. Little more intimate leelas, Mahaprabhu, Swarupa Damodar Goswami, Ramananda Rai, they sit together and discuss. Some philosophy, Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, they stood together and discuss. The constant spiritual discussions are going on, personally and also inducing people to take to the path of Krishna consciousness. The third canto of Bhagavatam says, Panena te deva katha sudhayam pravriddha bhaktya vishadashayaye vairagya saram pratilabdha bodham. Vairagya saram. The shloka beautifully says that Panena te deva katha sudhayam. All the devatas are offering this prayer. Personified elements are offering prayers to Lord Mahavishnu. They say, Panena te deva katha sudhayam. O Lord, let us drink the nectar of your katha. Pana. How do they drink? Through the ears. Panena te deva katha sudhayam. And by doing so, what happens? Pravruddha bhaktya. One's bhakti unto Krishna is improved, is developed. Pravruddha bhaktya. Vishadashayaye. Vairagya saram pratilabhya bodham. This is the key word in our current context. Vairagya saram. What is Vairagya saram? Vairagya means renunciation. That a sannyasi has in his possession. Sannyasi means renounced person. Vairagya. But here he says Vairagya saram. Essence of renunciation. Pratilabhya bodham. We'll understand the essence of renunciation. And essence of sannyasi life, as we are discussing here. What is this essence of Vairagya? Vairagya is not just being detached from material things around us. That's not Vairagya. It may be Vairagya, but it's a preliminary understanding of Vairagya, to be detached from matter. But the real Vairagya is Yukta Vairagya. Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastunaha mumukshubhir parityago vairagyam falgu kathyate. There is something called Falgu Vairagya, useless renunciation. That Falgu Vairagya is not the aspect of Vaishnava sannyasa. Sannyasi has to be detached, that's clear. But the detachment is not useless detachment. It's not Falgu Vairagya. Prapanchikataya buddhya, thinking that these things are material in nature, let me stay away from it. That's like very preliminary, rudimentary understanding of Vairagya. Hari sambandhi vastunaha. They are Hari sambandhi vastus. These flowers are connected to Krishna. These bricks are connected to Krishna. These temples are connected to Krishna. These big buildings and everything in this world is connected to Krishna. A sannyasi knows the art of utilizing everything connected to Krishna in the service of Krishna. That is Yukta Vairagya. Falgu Vairagya is just detachment, thinking that it is matter. Yukta Vairagya means, although it is matter, it is connected to Krishna, let me engage in the service of Krishna. And a Vaishnava sannyasi is expert in utilizing Krishna's resources in Krishna's services. Different devotees use different resources of Krishna in different ways. Not everyone may do in the same way, but the principle is Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya, smart renunciation or real renunciation. There is something called Markata Vairagya. Externally, someone makes a show of renunciation, but internally, some desire for sense gratification is going on. Not only desire, actual indulgence in sense gratification is going on. That is called Markata Vairagya, monkey renunciation. Monkey is also apparently very detached, not even wearing clothes. Monkey is also very much detached. But eating only vegetarian food. But monkey is indulging in sense gratification so many times in a day. That is called Markata Vairagya. Then second is Smashana Vairagya. A feeling of renunciation comes in the mind. As soon as you go to Smashan, see a dead body being burnt. So that is temporary renunciation. One is monkey renunciation, second is temporary renunciation, third is useless renunciation, but the final one is Yukta Vairagya, real renunciation. That's what a Vaishnava sannyasi has. Vairagya Saram. That is Vairagya Saram. Vairagya Saram is understanding that everything in this world is connected to Krishna. Let me engage everything in this world in Krishna's seva. That is the real essence of renunciation. In the particular shloka that we just read,
Sorry, I didn't come. I didn't start the class yet. It's 9:05. So, na sishyan anubadhanita. Sannyasi should not accept so many disciples. That's what it says. Second, granthan naivabhyaset bahum. Sannyasi should not read too many books. Third, na vyakhyam upayunjita narambhan arabhate kvachit. Don't get involved in so many commentaries, so many vyakhyanas, or don't take up so many big projects and all. Prabhupada brilliantly explains it. We read the purport. Prabhupada says that one may do all these things. Although it's mentioned here, one should not be indulged in all these things. One may still do all these things with the right spirit. Prabhupada elaborates it more in the Nectar of Devotion, which is a summary study of Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Yes, it is mentioned that sannyasi should not accept too many disciples, but without accepting disciples, how can we spread Krishna consciousness? Further, we need to accept disciples. But the spirit of accepting disciples is not just to increase one's self-aggrandizement, but the spirit is to distribute Krishna consciousness. And also accepting disciples by telling them the right philosophy, by training them in Krishna consciousness, and accepting those people who are very serious in bhakti, serious in Krishna consciousness, serious students. Not just alluring them with material benefits. I will cure your disease. I will do some magic and you will become successful in your business. So this is not the business of a sannyasi, to attract disciples by presenting some material allurements, but presenting them the pure spiritual philosophy and inspiring them to take to the process of Krishna consciousness, inspiring them to take shelter of the Lord, which is spiritually beneficial for them. Don't allure them with material benefits, attract them to the real spiritual benefits. Krishna prema, we just said, right? A devotee does, what is that? Shravana mangalam, making the goal of Krishna prema attractive and attainable. That's what we need to advertise, not material allurements. That's why Nasishyan Anubadhanita means don't try to attract disciples with material allurements, but attract them to the goal of Krishna prema. And secondly, Granthan Naivabhyasit means one should not only sannyasi, a general devotee, one should not indulge too much in reading too many literatures. There's an example of in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Tapan Mishra. He read too many books, so many books. He's confused. When we read too many books, we'll get confused. Simple. Too many books from too many authors, too many sources. He came to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, I'm confused about sadhya and sadhana. Sadhya means the goal of life. Sadhana means the method of attaining that goal. I'm confused about both of these things. I don't know what is sadhya, I don't know what is sadhana. You read too many books, therefore I am confused. Right? So, one should read Vaishnava literature. Definitely, Swadhyaya is a part of one's bhakti. One should read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Upadeshamrita by Rupa Goswami, or core Vaishnava literatures you can read with respect, with an intention to imbibe the teachings. We need to go to Srimad Bhagavatam with a begging bowl. Srimad Bhagavatam must be approached with a begging bowl of inspiration. You are begging, oh Prahlad Maharaj, we are reading 7th canto, right? Please give me some inspiration to do some Krishna Smarana. Oh Ambrish Maharaj, please give me some devotion. Oh Kunti Mata, oh Pandavas, oh Prithu Maharaj, oh Dhruva Maharaj, give me some determination. So beg all these Vaishnavas whose stories are described in Srimad Bhagavatam for some inspiration in your own devotional service. Go with a begging bowl to all the shlokas of Bhagavatam for some inspiration, for some attraction towards Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela. Let us approach Srimad Bhagavatam as beggars, begging for inspiration in bhakti, not for some material benefits. So in that mood, we can read Vaishnava literatures. But here when it is said, Grantha Naivabhyasit, that Grantha Prabhupada clearly translates as materialistic literatures, mundane, general literatures, unnecessary literatures. Granthan, big books that may not speak anything spiritual. Don't read that. And even under the umbrella of Vedic library, still we can read Vaishnava literatures. Prabhupada also, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. Certain sections in the Vedas also, they talk too much about Trigunas. But all the Vedas are meant to bring us to the point of Krishna consciousness. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. By studying all the Vedas, I am to be known, Krishna says. I am the compiler of Vedanta, I am the knower of Vedanta, and by studying all the Vedas, I am to be known. If one studies so many Vedas and not coming to the point of Krishna consciousness, not even understanding what is sadhana and what is sadhya, not even understanding that the sadhana is the process of bhakti yoga and sadhya is Krishna prema, if one doesn't come to this understanding, what is the point of so much Vedic study? So, one should read Vaishnava literatures in such a way that one enhances one's Krishna consciousness and not carry the burden of knowledge, not carry the burden of so much of information, and only to become proud that I know so much. I know this Purana also, I know that Purana also. Sometimes when we know too much, we may even judge other devotees who may not know as much as we know. We may sit in a class like a jury panel, evaluating, rating, 5 star, 4 star, 3 star, 2.5. We may give a rating to devotees who are speaking Harikatha. I already know this. It's not about knowledge. Knowledge does not mean realization. We may acquire so much knowledge by reading too many books, but realization is more important. How much have we assimilated, absorbed, internalized, and applied? How much are we putting it into practice? That's important. And how much is that knowledge in alignment with the teachings of the Parampara, teachings of Srila Prabhupada? That also we need to see. So, by rendering service, that knowledge will become realization. Instead of being extravagant and overly eager to accumulate more and more and more information by studying, let us try to transform whatever knowledge, bona fide knowledge we have already acquired into realization by rendering services. Durapahyalpa tapasa seva vaikunthavartmasu yatropagiyate nityam deva devo janardanaha. Very difficult to get an opportunity to serve. And it is the service that transforms knowledge into realization. So, here we are talking about the nature of renounced order, sannyasi. So one may accept disciples, but in the spirit of distributing Krishna consciousness, not just to allure them with material benefits. Second, one may study so many literatures and speak on them, but in the spirit of enhancing one's Krishna consciousness and not just accumulating the burden of information and getting confused. Then, Vyakhyam and Arambhan means taking up big projects, like Prabhupada writes multiple times about building temples and monasteries. But if the purpose of building a big temple and monastery is to spread Krishna consciousness, to host devotees who are serious in spiritual life, then one can build as many temples as he wants. But if the purpose is, Prabhupada writes also, to run guest houses, to host people and earn money, Prabhupada says it's not hotel, it is temple. So it's very clear, either in this purport or in Nectar of Devotion purports. So Prabhupada has given clear explanations for this. Not that no buildings, no temples, no monasteries, no books, and no disciples. That's not the message here. A sannyasi can get involved in all these things, but with the spirit of spreading Krishna consciousness, not with any material motives. It's the motive that makes an activity pure. Ahituki, apratihata, yayatma suprasidati. When there is a right motive of serving Krishna, that motive will please us also and please everyone who is connected to us also. When the motive is impure, eventually that will only lead to dissatisfaction. So these are some thoughts on this wonderful shloka about sannyasis. Sorry if I spoke anything inappropriate or any mistakes or inaccuracies. So I'll conclude here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I see some devotees raising hand. Should we take questions? How much time do we have?
Class is officially over, and questions will continue for those who have questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Class is officially over. You can leave also if you want. If you have some other service.
Oh, prasadam.
But some devotees can ask questions. Yes, but we can unmute them.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, you were mentioning that we can pray to Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, and all these personalities to. So my question is that when Dhruv Maharaj was when we read, he was only 5 years old, but now he's in a different state. So when we want to pray to all these personalities, like if we want to pray to Krishna, then we can see Krishna. That form immediately comes to us. But when we are praying to these personalities, what we should be thinking? How should we pray?
See, we can pray, or I said seek inspiration from. You can pray to these great personalities for some inspiration in bhakti. Their forms, you may not know currently in which form they are in. Dhruv Maharaj is a 5-year-old child now. I am meditating on his prayer, Bhakti Muhu Prabhastam Tavimi Prasango, when he spoke about 5 years old. Now he must be grown up. So you are not meditating on his form exactly. You can meditate on his 5-year-old form also, not an issue. As long as that form is inspiring in your bhakti, you can meditate on that form also, not an issue. But main thing is trying to understand the lesson that they taught us, the message that they have given us, the consciousness that they have exhibited in their bhakti. So that is the primary thing. Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much. So this is not a question, but just kind of a request. I saw, in spite of your busy schedule, you're coming all the way here. So I felt it very inspiring. So I thought that Subodhini, we have very inspirational. So we get clarity, where is what. But now I don't know, I should say it or not. When it will get transferred in Hindi, first in Hindi, all 12 cantos, and if possible, then all other local languages.
I think some devotees are working on it, bro. Some devotees are translating Subodhini series into Hindi. Hare Krishna. Okay, any question based on the class? Mataji has a question. Yeah. Yes, bro.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji, you mentioned about knowledge and realization, and service is the way to get to realization. But we may do we may read some books also, shlokas and everything. We may recite also, and we may do some kind of services also. But that realization state has not come. In especially some kind of issues or some kind of problems comes, we fail to apply what we have learned. So, what is lacking in that sense?
Read more, hear more.
So
hear from more realized souls, serve more. So realization is not available on Amazon. So, and when will it come, we don't know. Okay, you continue the sadhana, then we'll get realization. But the point I was trying to make is that sometimes an immature sadhaka may think that just because he or she has some knowledge about some esoteric subject matters, they may think that they are realized. You may know some intimate leelas of Radha Krishna, that does not mean we have that realization. Right? Approach them with respect. That's what I was trying to say. Huh? Fine. We can continue the practice of bhakti, and eventually Krishna will make us realize. Realization is not a mechanical process.
But is there a quantity to that more limit? You mentioned that here more. So is there a quality limit to that?
No. बहुजन्म करे यदि श्रवण कीर्तन तब न पाए कृष्ण पदे प्रेम धन. There is no limit. 5 years, 10 years, 10 hours, 20 hours per day. How much are we absorbed during that hearing? And although we may do hearing and chanting, parallelly we may commit some offenses also. So we are going little ahead, by offense we are coming back. So how much is this oscillation happening? It depends on various factors. We just continue bhakti. We will not artificially imagine that we are more advanced than what we are. Many advanced devotees think that they are very low. But a neophyte devotee thinks that I am very advanced. That's the whole problem. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you so much for this very wonderful class, and all your classes are always very inspiring. Prabhuji, one question always is lingering in my mind is that in Krishna consciousness we have many teachers and we don't have very personal interaction with them. Then how can I be grateful to all these wonderful teachers that are there, whom I'm interacting and whom I'm not even interacting with them? What can I do, with my body, mind, words? What can I do so that I can express my inner gratitude to these teachers, Prabhuji?
Expression always is subjected to different constraints, time constraints, physical constraints. Different people are staying in different geographical locations. So there are constraints. But emotion is important. The feeling of gratitude that we have for other Vaishnavas, or Guru, or Krishna, or Acharyas, that feeling of gratitude itself is an integral part of devotional service. You are saying about different devotees, teachers, but how much personal interaction we have with so many Vaishnava Acharyas? Are we not grateful to them? And when we are grateful, is it not reaching them? Is it not enhancing our Krishna consciousness? For example, a Guru may have 1,000 disciples. Everybody wants to render service. Everybody wants to cook for the Guru. But how much is the possibility, practically speaking? Only one person can cook, few items. Even within whatever this one person cooks, the Guru may accept only few items, that too little bit. But the emotion is valid. 1,000 people may have that emotion, that gratitude, but that gratitude nourishes them in the heart. So expression may or may not be possible, but emotion must be cultivated. Gratitude must be cultivated. You may or may not be able to express the gratitude in the form of a physical action or a verbal expression, but let the emotion be there, that nourishes us. Krita means that which has been done to us. Jna means to remember, to be aware of, to be knowledgeable about. So the feeling of gratitude is there. Sometimes you get an opportunity to express that emotion of gratitude in words, or even act on that gratitude by reciprocating with some service also. But this action and expression are subjected to various limitations, constraints. But emotion must be there always.
So, Prabhuji, with this, I'm very, very grateful to you that you've been always my teacher in Vidyapeetham also, and currently also I'm studying Canto 8 from you. So I'm very, very grateful to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Just now you told that this chanting the name of Gopi. So most of the times when we are teaching Krishna consciousness, we request the people to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, but simultaneously they hear from YouTube and all, where so many people are teaching that we should chant Radha Radha like that. So how can we convince them to chant Hare Krishna mantra?
You can chant Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai. You're also chanting Hare Krishna. Basically, different devotees may have different sentiments, no problem. But we stick to our spiritual authorities. What did our spiritual master teach us? What did our Srila Prabhupada teach us? We'll stick to that. Right? If Prabhupada taught us to chant Hare Krishna, let's chant Hare Krishna. YouTube is not our guru. And we may respect all the Vaishnavas who may be connecting with Krishna in a certain form, we respect all of them. We offer obeisances to them. But we follow the teachings of our spiritual masters, our acharyas, our founder acharya. We stick to that. No, don't criticize anyone, don't offend anyone. At the same time, let's not deviate from what our spiritual authorities taught us. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for your wonderful class. Please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhuji, you mentioned about glories of Krishna-katha. So my question is how to hear Krishna-katha without any internal resistance? How to get that taste? And how to ultimately reach to the platform of Tava Katha Amritam Tapta Jivanam?
There is some internal resistance, as Mataji said. Sometimes the mind doesn't allow us to hear. As we are hearing, mind is thinking about so many things. Anxieties, attachments, allurements, distractions, Instagram reels, WhatsApp. So many things pull our attention away from Krishna-katha. But to inspire ourselves to be absorbed in hearing Harikatha, let us see the examples of great devotees. Narada Muni gave a private class, direct one-to-one class to Kayadu, in this canto only, in this book. Do you have that picture? Narada Muni was giving class and Kayadu was so fortunate to get to hear from Narada Muni directly. Hardly anyone gets such an opportunity. We don't have that picture, no problem. But Kayadu was not attentive. Why? Her mind is filled with anxieties. Internally, in her mind, she was thinking about her husband. When will my husband come back from tapasya? Or she's thinking about her son. The devatas attacked my son. They tried to kill my son. What will happen if there is any other attack? Although she is safe and secure under the protection of Narada Muni in his ashram, and Narada Muni is speaking such beautiful Harikatha, but she's not hearing only, she's not attentive only. She got to hear for a long time, but her mind is not there. Who heard all the classes of Narada Muni? Prahalad Maharaj heard. He took advantage. So when we hear with attention, keeping aside all our material anxieties, we get inspiration like Prahalad Maharaj got from Narada Muni. But when we are inattentive in our hearing like Kayadu, we will not get full benefit, right? So we need to take inspiration from those devotees who are hearing nicely. And we need to hear about the benefits of hearing multiple times. Rukmini Devi heard from Narada Muni, from her childhood. She became so absorbed in hearing. Shritva gunan bhuvana sundara srinvatam te nirvishta karna vivaraihi haratonga tapam. She understood, she realized that Krishna is the most beautiful personality in the entire universe. Bhuvana Sundara. She never saw him only. In this manifest pastime, she did not see. She only heard Shrutva Gunan. Just by hearing the qualities of Krishna from Narada Muni, she realized that Krishna is the most beautiful personality, Bhavana Sundara, in the entire universe. So we get that realization. Let's take inspiration from Rukmini Devi, take inspiration from Parikshit Maharaj, take inspiration from Prahalad Maharaj, and try to improve our hearing. But if you want more practical solution or some tip to be more absorbed in hearing, take notes. Whatever we are hearing, write. Now you always have notes here, either put here, preferably with a pen. At least type the notes in your laptop or tablet or your phone. When you keep noting points, whenever I am sitting in the class, these are the highlights. You may hear for 1 hour, you may note down most important and inspiring points in one page and you revise them, then we can internalize what we have heard better. That hearing, which is more absorbed and more attentive, that will benefit us. And after we hear, let's go and speak to other devotees. So once you hear some class, whatever is inspiring to you while taking prasadam or while interacting with your friend, you can share. These are the points that I have heard. Then you ruminate, you revise, you reflect on them. By revision and reflection, we will realize what we have heard. We'll internalize what we have heard. Thus, the whole process of hearing is not a passive thing, it becomes very active and enlivening, and we look forward to hear. Does it make sense, Mataji?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Last question, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very wonderful class. And I like your shloka recitation very much. I try to memorize them by hearing your recordings. Prabhuji, there is one shloka in CC which mentions in Kali Yuga 5 things are prohibited. And in that sannyas is also mentioned. But then we see Lord Chaitanya in Kali Yuga, he took sannyas. So in one sense, I was just thinking that he bypassed the verdict of the Vedas that sannyas is not should be taken in Kali Yuga. And also in our parampara, we have so many sannyasis. How to understand? Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada writes about it. Exactly this question is answered by Prabhupada in one Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think Adilila purport. I can't recollect the number now. Prabhupada writes, there are some people who may accept sannyas just as a way to live a very luxurious or lavish or carefree life maintained by others. That kind of sannyas which induces laziness and complacency and irresponsibility in us must be avoided. Second, there are some people who imagine themselves to be God by taking sannyas. Danda grahana matrena naram narayano bhavet. That kind of sannyas is prohibited. But accepting sannyas for the purpose of spreading Krishna consciousness is not prohibited either in Kali Yuga or in any other yugas. Prabhupada writes very clearly in that purport. Intention matters. What is the intention? Mahaprabhu's intention is what? He said, people will respect me. Is that really his intention? People will respect me, and by doing so they will be benefited. They will accept Krishna consciousness. They will be relieved from their apats. At least when they notice me as a sannyasi, they will be more attentive in hearing from me. And what will I speak to them? About Krishna. So to make them accept Krishna consciousness, he is willing to accept respect from them by taking the position of a sannyasi. So that intention matters. Mahaprabhu took sannyas in Kali Yuga.
Thank you, Prabhuji. In this same regard, one more question. Those who are non-Vaishnava sannyasis, like Mayavaris, Buddhist, sometimes in our lectures we smash them like anything because they are propagating Mayavad philosophy. So are we supposed to respect them because they are having sannyas order, or should we not respect them, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
We should respect every single living being. Every single living being who is a part and parcel of Krishna must be respected. But dehanatha jata jata. Sakala sammana korite shakati dehanatha jata jata. Means we need to respect as it behooves. We need to respect people appropriately according to position, according to what they represent. Right? We should never disrespect anyone. But with some people, respecting means just following whatever they say. For some people, respecting them means recognizing them as spirit souls and offering just obeisances. For some people, respecting means valuing their emotions. For some people, respecting them means offering them seat or whatever. Different ways of showing respect, right? But the greatest respect that we can give to any living being is to recognize that living being as a part and parcel of Krishna, an amsha of Krishna. And the greatest self-respect that we give to ourselves is to recognize ourselves as servants of Krishna, potentially. So respect them for their spiritual nature, but you may not accept their follower, accept their philosophy if they don't represent the core Vaishnava teachings, right? So when Hiranyakashipu disrespected Prahlad Maharaj, tried to kill him, you see this picture. Prahlad is sitting in the lap and Hiranyakashipu is pushing him from the lap. It's a disrespect. But did Prahlad ever disrespect Hiranyakashipu? Never. He never disrespected Hiranyakashipu. He disagreed with him, but he never disrespected. Similarly, even if you have a different opinion, philosophically there is a difference, practically there is a difference of opinion, you may maintain your disagreement because you have your viewpoint, they have their viewpoint, but don't disrespect them. You can disagree, but don't disrespect. Right? You are respecting them does not mean you are following them. Respect everyone. Respect everyone. But follow those people who are in line with the teachings of the scriptures and teachings of parampara. Does it make sense?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you for that wonderful point of knowledge and realization. My question was, sometimes I get thoughts and I have a habit of writing them. Sometimes when I write, it is backed by whatever I have heard in the classes or read in books. But sometimes it is just like it's flowing and I write that. So how can I understand whether it is knowledge or realization? And another point was, sometimes when we get realization after rendering service, what is the outcome of that realization? Because it can happen that realization after some point it feels like a burden.
Burden of realizations. My humble reply to your question is, please consult your spiritual mentor or counselor or whoever is guiding you in your spiritual life. Whenever you get some thoughts or reflections or quote-unquote realizations, you can go and tell them, Prabhuji, I am thinking like this, I have this thought. So, you please guide me. How valid is this thought? How valid is this realization? Should I act on this? Or is it a speculation or realization? You please guide me. So, you can consult your immediate superior, your counselor or whoever is guiding you. Hare Krishna. How many more questions? Is 9:35? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
1 second.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you mentioned about Paramatma Nishtha, fixed in Krishna consciousness. So sometimes as we also go to office and work, so sometimes we get disturbed also. But we try to monitor ourselves and try to get more into Krishna consciousness. But sometimes it is happening, sometimes it is not getting so much into Krishna consciousness. So how can we internalize the learnings and so that we can break that pattern and get more into Krishna consciousness? Was I clear? Sometimes when I'm trying and monitoring my activities, suppose I know what to do, but I'm not able to do that, the Krishna reading or hearing more. So how to increase that? How to internalize as well that teaching?
So many ways of answering this question. But to keep it brief, I'll say we should give some liberty to other devotees to correct us, to monitor us, to even evaluate us. Not everyone, but at least some well-wishing devotees who are very close to us, who know us well. You can take their inputs, take their reviews. Am I sufficiently going deep in bhakti? Or is there something lacking in me? Can you please help me improve? So that will help us. We take assistance from Sadhu Sangha. We have the greatest opulence of Vaishnava association, especially here, such a vibrant community. Hundreds of devotees are there. On a weekday Bhagavatam class also, this hall is full many times. So we have so many devotee friends, you can just take their help. I don't know if that answers your question, connects to your question in any vague way. I didn't fully get it, but...
yes, it answers to an extent, but I wanted to know, is there anything I can do from myself? I'm understanding that I'm not getting those activities more, which I ideally would like to do, or maybe I'm doing some time wasting. So maybe...
You can reflect, you can contemplate.
Okay.
For example, Vyasadeva wrote so many literatures, but he was dissatisfied. He was not very happy. Then he honestly contemplated. That honest introspection revealed to Vyasadeva where he went wrong. And later Narada Muni came and told him the same thing. Reconfirmed the same thing. Vyasadeva already understood that maybe I have not sufficiently highlighted Bhakti Yoga, and that is the reason for my discontentment, despite writing so much literature. Then Narada Muni said, yes, exactly, that's the point. And Narada Muni elaborated on it and chastised also. So when we honestly introspect, things are revealed to us, and that honest introspection can also be accompanied by some consultation. Contemplation and consultation together will reveal to us where we need to improve.
Thank you so much.
Last question. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, first of all, I'd like to express my deep gratitude for Bhagavad Subodhini that we refer every day. And your Bhagavad Vivek is also very wonderful, Prabhu. I have read that how to respond effectively almost 10 times. It is so nice. It helps us so much in our spiritual practices, and especially reading for Bhagavatam and to understand the wisdom. Even after reading Bhagavatam, especially me, I don't know, I am not able to grasp that much wisdom as much I refer to your Bhagavad Subodhini. So I have this answering the life's questions and secret of bhakti. So I wish we can get all the series of these Bhagavad Viveka. It is very, very wonderful and helpful for us to, I really feel it. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So we'll conclude here. It's already 9:40. I have another class. Thank you. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Because we talked about his writings, just yesterday, Sri Brihad Bhagavatam Subodhini. So we have Bhagavad Subodhini and now Brihad Bhagavatam written by Srila Sanatana Goswami, which many of us refer to or hear about the Narad Muni finding out who is the greatest devotee, and the other part of Gopkumar finding out what is the highest destination. So, Brihad Bhagavatamritam Part 1 Subodhini has been launched yesterday on the auspicious occasion of Vasant Panchami. But with Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's, that mood of humility and not desiring any kind of fame, he doesn't carry books and kind of science books and all those kind of things. Otherwise, it will come in our stall in some days. So, it's a wonderful contribution to the entire society. These books have been greatly helpful and they have practically created a revolution in self-study by the devotees, because till now, which canto to read, how it connects, so how the cantos connect, how the chapters within the canto connect, how within one chapter the slokas connect, an important point listed down, tables are there, comments from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's references are there. It's a very great contribution, and then he has the sloka books also, Ratnamalas, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So it's a wonderful thing to have him here. We request him to come more often and for longer time. He was in Hyderabad for 5 days, morning, evening, Brihad Bhagavatamritam Katha for 2 to 3 hours, morning, 2 to 3 hours evening, and the entire Hyderabad congregation were drowning in the ecstasy. You did it in English or in Telugu? English. So we'll request him to take out some time, we'll fix some time, and seeing that so many devotees staying back, although Prashadan is about to get over, shows that he has the power to retain the audience by his enlivening presentation and also by wonderful practical answers to these questions. So let us thank him very gratefully by loudly chanting the Haribol 3 times.